In the expansive multiverse, there exists a variant of Deadpool so malevolent that he managed to annihilate every single superhero in his universe. Faced with the challenge of Deadpool's uncontrollable inner voices, the X-Men attempted to cure him by seeking the help of a therapist named Dr. Brighton. Little did they know that Dr. Brighton was actually a villain known as Psycho Man, who had a penchant for experimenting on his patients. Psycho Man's misguided attempt at a cure resulted in the destruction of all of Deadpool's inner voices. Instead of finding solace, Deadpool's psyche was replaced by a singular, sinister voice. This malevolent inner monologue relentlessly urged him to commit ceaseless acts of violence, fueled by the belief that everyone in his reality was fictional, and life itself held no meaning. Dubbed Deadpool, this variant of the Merc with a mouth successfully carried out the gruesome task of exterminating every hero, villain, and anti-hero in his universe, leaving only a handful spared. Among the spared were Mad Thinker, Leader, Egghead, and other genius supervillains whom Deadpool temporarily spared to join his cause. Mad Thinker revealed a chilling theory based on the notion that they were all fictional characters. According to his idea, if Deadpool traveled through the nexus of all realities to the Ideaverse, a universe populated by classical characters of literature, and killed its inhabitants, all of Marvel would be erased. This was because these characters served as inspirations and building blocks for Marvel writers. Armed with this ominous plan, Deadpool embarked on a mission to destroy Marvel once and for all. Entering the Ideaverse, Deadpool found himself ambushed by none other than the legendary Don Quixote, who impaled him in the chest. Unbeknownst to the valiant knight, Deadpool's regenerative abilities allowed him to continue speaking despite the mortal injury, leaving Don Quixote bewildered and mistaking Deadpool's resilience for some form of sorcery. Seizing the opportunity, Deadpool sliced Don Quixote's eye, blinding the iconic knight, and swiftly finished him off with a gunshot. Not stopping there, Deadpool proceeded to eliminate Shanko Panza, preparing for his next target. His next destination was the year 1850, in the middle of the ocean, where he encountered and killed the infamous whale Moby Dick. Emerging from the enormous beast, Deadpool surprised the crew of the Pequod. Notably, he also carried the lifeless body of Pinocchio, an inspiration for the Marvel character Vision, implying that Vision's existence was now in jeopardy. Upon revealing himself on the ship, Deadpool was met by the captain, but instead of a peaceful encounter, he launched a violent assault on the crew members, dispatching them one by one. Deadpool's killing spree continued as he moved to confront the captain, Ahab, who served as an inspiration for General Ross, also known as the Red Hulk. However, their confrontation was disrupted by the Nautilus's attack, allowing Captain Ahab to escape. Undeterred, Deadpool resumed his ruthless mission. In his relentless killing spree within the Ideaverse, Deadpool claimed the lives of Tom Sawyer and launched a surprise attack on Count Dracula in his lair. Utilizing a candle as a weapon, Deadpool set the vampire and his brides ablaze, reducing them to ashes. His next unexpected target was the Ghost Rider, or rather, the Headless Horseman, an inspiration for Marvel's Ghost Rider and the Green Goblin. After a fierce battle, Deadpool beheaded the Horseman, adding another victim to his list. Moving on to his next targets, Deadpool encountered the Little Women, inspirations for Elektra, She-Hulk, the Mockingbird, and the Black Widow. Realizing he couldn't take them all head-on, Deadpool opted for a more explosive approach, blowing up the building and surviving the explosion. As Deadpool's rampage continued, a new player entered the scene. In a desperate attempt to save the Ideaverse, Mad Thinker reached out to none other than Sherlock Holmes. Urged to stop Deadpool at any cost, Sherlock Holmes assembled a team consisting of himself, his assistant John Watson, Beowulf, Hua Mulan, and Nathaniel Bumpo. Acquiring H.G. Wells's time machine, the team was prepared to confront Deadpool and thwart his destructive mission to save the Ideaverse. Having eliminated Scourge, Deadpool set his sights on a crucial target, Frankenstein. Deadpool utilized the monster's body as a vessel for a sinister voice in his head, gaining a powerful ally to aid him in achieving his destructive goals. The duo then journeyed to India in the year 1900 with the intent of killing Mowgli and his animal family, serving as inspirations for Marvel characters Khazar and Zabu. Their mission took an unexpected turn when they stumbled upon the escaped Captain Ahab aboard the Nautilus alongside Captain Nemo. Adopting a cunning disguise as survivors of a wreckage, Deadpool and Frankenstein infiltrated the ship, deceiving the crew and initiating a brutal assault. Despite their killing spree, Captain Nemo, an inspiration for Magneto, remained alive and was chained to a torpedo by Deadpool, which was used to kill the mermaid, an inspiration for Namor, a revelation which sent Deadpool into a fit of laughter. Seizing control of the massive ship, they set their sights on a formidable target, Charybdis, a monster from ancient Greek mythology. Utilizing a harpoon, Deadpool and Frankenstein managed to defeat Charybdis, but the intense battle resulted in the destruction of their own ship. Faced with imminent danger, Deadpool and Frankenstein were forced to teleport away, leaving a trail of chaos and destruction in their wake. In the year 1627, Deadpool and Frankenstein found themselves confronting the Three Musketeers. However, after successfully eliminating them, Deadpool had a startling revelation. Killing the Musketeers seemingly endangered the very concept of a team, and Deadpool, realizing his character might be inspired by them, believed his existence was in jeopardy. To his surprise, Deadpool didn't succumb to non-existence. At this crucial moment, Sherlock Holmes and his team arrived, determined to halt Deadpool's destructive rampage. Beowulf engaged in a fierce battle with Frankenstein's monster, but despite his valiant efforts, he was ultimately overwhelmed. However, Watson seized the opportunity and managed to kill Frankenstein's monster with his gun, causing Deadpool to regain the sinister voice in his head. The confrontation escalated as Mulan and Bumpo focused their efforts on Deadpool. In a heated combat sequence, Beowulf succumbed to the monster's might, but Watson's intervention turned the tide momentarily. Deadpool, however, managed to defeat Bumpo in combat and attempted to escape using a teleporting device on his hand. Mulan, perceptive and swift, intervened just in time. With a swift strike, she cut off Deadpool's hand, preventing him from utilizing the teleportation device and making it more challenging for him to evade capture. Faced with no other options, Deadpool made a desperate attempt to use Sherlock Holmes's time machine to escape the impending confrontation. However, Holmes proved to be relentless, catching up to Deadpool, and both of them were transported into a time-traveling limbo. A fierce battle erupted in this temporal void. During the confrontation, Holmes took the opportunity to explain the nature of the Ideaverse. He emphasized that this realm couldn't be truly destroyed, as ideas were persistent and had the ability to be reborn. In response, Deadpool revealed that he was already aware of this information. He clarified that his true goal was not to outright destroy the Ideaverse, but to mortally wound it, disrupting a cycle and altering classic stories forever. This, he believed, would lead to a slow death of the Ideaverse. In the midst of the battle, Deadpool fell from the time-traveling machine. At this point, Sherlock Holmes began to recollect the stories, all of them, with the aim of restoring the Ideaverse to its original state. He adopted the name Ishmael, a nod to the sole survivor in the Moby Dick story, symbolizing the idea that as long as someone remembers these stories, they will persist. While initially successful in his plan, Deadpool's intentions were ultimately thwarted by Sherlock Holmes's simple but brilliant strategy.